want to score 280 and above in JAMB? At Taraba Business School, we can make your dream come through. Register now for our JAMB and CBT training. Intensive JAMB and WACE coaching classes with experienced teachers is ongoing. You will also be trained on computer-based training, CBT. Visit Taraba Business School today. We are located opposite Civil Service Commission, 183 Hamarua Way, Jalingo, Taraba State. You can call the following numbers for inquiries: 080 602 69140, 070 634 28464, 080 606 60861.
Fund my wallet sharp. Send money, go any bank. Do all my transactions inside. We launched SuperGo yesterday in Yola.
Now available in Taraba and Adamawa, and we're covering 36 states before 2026.
Download SuperGo today, Nigeria's first lifestyle app. SuperGo, move, buy, pay, live.
Hello viewers, it's my pleasure this evening to welcome you to another edition of our program, Hangout with Journalists. It's a time where we sit together with the people of the fifth realm, fourth realm, to look at issues that are happening. You know, we read a lot, we study a lot about happenings in the country and even in the world completely. So sometimes it's good to have people like that to look in depth and look at some insight into some of the things that are happening. The essence of it is to be able to analyze those situations and to be able to provide solution. Because we all believe in this country. We all believe that Nigeria can be better than what we are currently seeing. And it is our responsibility as men of the pen profession to be able to analyze situations and what is happening and to be able to provide a reasonable solution that will help the country in one way or the other. I have with me in the studio a veteran journalist and somebody who has been in this profession for many years and who will be discussing with me on some of the issues that we will be talking about today. He is the state correspondent for Sun newspaper. I have with me Mr. Silvanus Vashima. This your surname is.
Exactly, yes. It's a pleasure to be on. It's a great pleasure. Let me once again congratulate you on the establishment of one of the first private TV stations in the state, and to assure you that you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you so much. Being here. And thank you for your always one person that has been right from the time we started like a joke. You are one of the person that has been of great support and encouragement. Thank you so much for all your encouragement. Our viewers, today we're going to be talking about something that is on the burner, on the front burner in our country, and that is the security of life and property. Despite the fact that in our constitution, the constitution clearly provide that the security of life and property of the people shall be the primary responsibility of government. But it appears as if government has left this that's supposed to be the primary responsibility and doing any other things. We have thousands and thousands of people who has been killed. A lot of children has been adopted. We have cases of adoption in Kebbi State, where over 24 students were adopted. As if that was not enough, we had cases of adoption in Niger State. A lot is happening in Yobe State. We have a situation where a whole army general was killed by ISWA, and so many other things that is happening currently in our country. And that's why today we are going to be looking at this issue in depth. Mr. Silvanus, what is really happening in our country?
What is really happening in that? That's a big question. And if you ask me, I would sincerely say the situation we have here, it's nothing short of a failed system. It's a failed governance system, all levels. Like you rightly pointed out, the primary objective of any government, the primary responsibility is security of lives and property of the people. When you have a situation where the security of the people is not guaranteed, the security of their property is not guaranteed, then it means everything is wrong. You can construct all the roads there are, you can build all the estates there are, you can build all the airports, and you can build all the infrastructure there are. Okay, but once security of lives and property is not guaranteed, everything is trash.
That's true.
And that is the scenario we have in the country right now. Now, Nigeria is not a country at war. We are not security experts, so let's even given the caveat that whatever opinions we're given are personal opinions and are not really expert opinions, but are opinions from people who are on the streets, who interact with the everyday person and understand how the people feel. These are the kind of opinions we're turning out. Okay, so what we have is a system that has failed the people in all ramifications. Because once you don't guarantee the security of the people, every other thing is doing it's unfortunately inconsequential.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's unfortunately inconsequential. I give you instances. In Niger State, more than 300 people were supposedly moved from a school. This includes students and teachers. Now, let's get real. How do you move 300 human beings from one location to the other without any form of interception?
In Nigeria, that we seem to have checkpoint at every 1 meter.
Now, you're talking about Niger State that has been under constant attacks from bandits. Okay, these are people who are at some point almost took over Shiruru Dam, which is one of the biggest dams in the country. So Niger State, it's like we said, a state of major concern. It has been a flashpoint. So it's expected that the security arrangement there will be very tense, will be very impressive to make sure that
things don't just happen anyhow.
Now you move 300 persons from a school to an unknown location without interception. Does it make sense? Does it add up? Now we have this narrative coming out from there that the military checkups that were there, that were around the vicinity prior to this attack, were dismantled before the attack. Why were they dismantled? You know, this similar narrative came up when during the Kuje prison attack.
Yeah.
Until date, I don't think anybody has gone down the drain because of that incident in Kuje prison. Now we have a similar scenario playing out in Niger. we have a similar scenario where students were abducted in Kebbi. More than 20-something students.
I saw the governor asking, because from what we gathered, the army there were security information that the attack is likely to happen, and when that information came up, we were told that army were deployed. They even went to the school and even have press up and drilling with the students. And we're told that the army left 30 minutes after then.
That.
Because we saw the Kebbi State governor asking who ordered the withdrawals.
The Niger State governor.
No, even the Kebbi State governor.
Okay.
Even the Kebbi State governor, he was on air asking when the chief of defense staff states, Matawale, because the president has ordered Matawale to go to the state and be in the state to see how to, because when he was the governor, about 200 and something students were kidnapped. So maybe with his experience,
familiarity with the terrain,
it could be of assistance. The governor said it, that this attack, there was a prior information, they shared information with security agency, the army were deployed, and 30 minutes to the attack, the army were withdrawn.
Now, the question is, who ordered the withdrawal of the army?
That's the question.
Now, we're living in a country where people are not held accountable. And that begs the question, do we really have the political will to tackle insecurity? This is not the first time stuff like this are happening. Okay, we've had situation, we had a very ugly scenario that shouldn't have happened at all very recently, when an army general was cornered with some of his men. He was able to, hide himself, link himself up with the defense headquarters, communicate with them his location, and eventually that was leaked.
Yes.
And he was executed with his men. Now, as we speak, nobody is going down, no head is rolling because of that incident. That is not something that should be happening in any single country.
That's true.
Now we can choose to be politically correct about our statements on these things, because we can choose to say things that are not implicating things that people in power are placed to hear. But we will not be helping ourselves. We will not be helping the system.
We will not be helping the country.
In that same situation tomorrow, that general was not supposed to die.
Yeah.
He was not supposed to go down the drain. And because he has gone down, some heads are supposed to roll, and nothing is happening. Now, here is a scenario where there's an intelligence report that this thing is likely going to happen. Security were deployed there. They went and carried out the charade, and then left shortly before the attack actually happened. And we have very vulnerable, very innocent children in the hands of monsters. You can't even contemplate, you can't even try to imagine what is happening to those children in the hands of those monsters.
But why is this attack mostly on girls?
Okay, I don't want to add to our traumatic experience, the trauma of the parents. I don't want to. It's not a question we can.
Because over the years, if you look at Chibok, if you look at Danchi, Kebbi, Niger, and so many others. Recently on yesterday's paper, about 13 teenagers were abducted in
Maiduguri. We're not even talking about the one that happened in Yobe, I think early today or be late last night. Now, here is the situation. We have some some very deprived, very base, monstrous beings who have chosen to abscond from the normal human life to stay in the forest to oppress other human beings. You have them out there. And we're all men. One of the base instincts of man is sex. And they're out there deprived of it. So what do? They kidnap those children, female children. They serve as shield for them because naturally, instinctively, we feel female children are vulnerable. So there is this high instinct and tendency to want to protect them. And they have them serving as human shield. If it were guys will always try to manipulate their way around.
Or if you have like 300 men, they can gather most and face
their way around. They can do all kinds of things.
They can even face the bandits.
The bandits. It's not the same thing as girls. Girls are very vulnerable. Okay, so they don't put up any serious resistance against their abductors. Two, those monsters use them to satisfy their sexual cravings. We know about the Dapchi girls, how many of them, the Chibok girls, how many of them have had children for their abductors.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you have the Stockholm syndrome at play, where the abducted person is comfortable with the abductee and they want to stay with them. In fact, they will actually work with those who abducted them against the system. That's the syndrome, the Stockholm syndrome. That is what is at play in most of the situation, and that is what is happening right now. So the focus is on girls because they are the most vulnerable. They don't constitute any major threats to their abductees, and there's every tendency of them succumbing to the aspirations, the wishes of their terrorists, those who are unleashing terror on them, and satisfying their basic human instincts as men. I think that is just the reply to why the focus is on ladies, on girls, rather than men.
And the issue of schools. Currently, the attack seems to be focusing on schools. And we seem to be dancing to the tune of these people. 47 unity schools have been closed down currently across the country, in Gombe, in Yobe, in Kebbi, in Niger, in Kwara, in Maiduguri.
Even here in Taraba,
school has been deboarded
and all of that. Okay, let me say something very fundamental here. We have clearly displayed the fact that the terrorists are winning. They are having their way. Boko Haram came up with the philosophy, with the ideology that Western civilization is bad, is forbidden.
Boko Haram.
Western education is bad, is forbidden. That is a root of terrorism that we have in the country at play right now. Do you understand? Now, we are confronted with a situation where the school system is targeted. It's not, it's a deliberate thing. It's a deliberate thing. They're targeting the school system, they're targeting the educational system. And let's draw an example from other countries. Go to countries like Afghanistan, where all those terrorist groups ruling them.
Taliban.
The Taliban are ruling. What's the focus? Female children shouldn't go to school.
They shouldn't drive. They shouldn't
drive. They shouldn't
even come out.
They should just be there as sex slaves. And in most systems where extreme terrorist group hold sway, is the same scenario that plays out. Now that is what is happening here. They don't want Western civilization, especially empowering the female child. Okay, so they target the schools, especially the female schools. Unleash terror there. Grab as many as you can grab. Deny them the access to Western education. Those who you don't grab, instill so much terror on them, they don't want to go back to schools. Now, what is the government doing? It's very unfortunate. Rather than confront the situation, we are succumbing to it.
We're closing down the schools.
Rather than protect the schools, we are shutting them down, fulfilling the desire of the terrorists. So we're aiding them to win the battle seamlessly. But you ask yourself, you've been to places, go to government houses, go to presidential villa, go to National Assembly, go to other government establishments. Some places you see more security operatives there than
the number of people
that
they are protecting. That's true.
They're protecting.
That's true.
So why can't we provide security for our schools?
There is this 152 billion safe school fund. What has the government done with this fund? There was an initiative specifically targeted on how to save schools. In one of the papers I read, Senate saying they are going to probe those funds. Because my worry is that most of the time we bring up some of this initiative, funds are released, but the funds are being used for a different thing. Remember the Dasuki Gate, where during the times of Boko Haram, a lot of money were out for the purpose of fighting terrorists, but the money eventually landed in the pockets of politicians.
Okay, the problem with our system here is that, okay, let me give you an instance. Let's anchor this discussion on something very recently that happened. The president came out and announced the pronounced withdrawal of security policemen guiding VIPs.
VIPs, yes.
Okay.
I was shocked that it is estimated that over 100,000 police are attached to VIPs.
I would be disappointed if you were shocked at that, because it's something you see on a daily basis.
Yeah, but I never assumed that the number would be that large.
You just never give it a thought.
Yes.
You just never give it a thought.
Yes.
Because how many are they attached to local government chairmen? How many policemen are attached to their wives?
That's true.
How about the councillors? How about the businessman there who is doing very well? Almost every person who can afford has security attached to them. Now, the presidency came out yesterday and announced withdrawal of all the security personnel to be deployed to their core functions. Very beautiful move. Coming at a time like this. We need them on the field. We need them securing the schools. We need them doing all that. But what guarantee do we have that that will be implemented? And that is the problem we have here. We keep coming up with very beautiful statements, policy statements. We keep coming up with very lovely rhetorics that are never implemented. They're never implemented. As of today, you are always on ground in the field. Can you tell me any VIP in Taraba, for instance, that the policemen attached to them were withdrawn, have been withdrawn? No. And I can give you this for free. Go and do your research. Go and do your fact checking tomorrow. I'll discover that no VIP has their security, their policemen withdraw from them. So we make these statements without implementation backup. Now we have a situation, we have a scenario where we are confronted with a challenge. The terrorists unleashing terror on the country. And what have we done? Nothing. We've not been able to confront the terrorists. In fact, very recently when the US came out and alleged that there was genocide against the Christians in the country, what did we do? We very quickly embraced the path of denial. No, it's not happening. There's no genocide. Both Christians and Muslims are being killed. Is that, if both Christians and Muslims are being killed, is that enough reason for it to be allowed to keep going on?
Every life is sacred. The
Is
killing,
that enough reason for us to allow it to keep going on?
not at all.
Now, unfortunately, most times we look at these things from the basis of figures. 70 people killed, 35 people killed, 30. We look at the figures. We forget to analyze it down to the fact that the 35 people we're talking about are fathers with surviving children whose life will never be the same again.
That's true.
We're talking about children killed whose parents will never enjoy the embrace of their children again. We're talking about spouses killed, creating a vacuum on the dinner table every night. We're talking about breadwinners and families whose absence will lead to children dropping out of school, driving them to all kinds of lifestyles that will turn them to monsters someday. We don't look at it from that perspective. We look at it as figures. 30 people killed in this attack, 300 people killed. And we look at this as figures. And until we begin to realize that anybody, any single person killed in such circumstances has reverberating effect. Let me give you an instance. I was in Amadu recently, and I was interacting with the locals who were affected in the crisis. I came across a very old woman.
Amadu is in Taraba State, in Takun local
government.
Yes.
We got talking, and she told me she had 5 children. She lost all of them. She only had a grandchild, a grandson. And that was the only real family she had left. When the terrorists attacked her community, the son was on the farm. So she was running towards the farm to meet the son. The son was running home
To meet the
being
mother.
pursued to meet her. And when the son met her, he just picked her up and was running, while the assailants were on his trail. So she was like, drop me and run so that you survive. Yeah, I'm already old. It's not a problem if they kill me, but you need to survive. And the son said, I'm not going to drop you. I'd rather die than leave you. Eventually, the assailants were able to catch up with him. They were cutting him with cutlasses. He held on to the grandmother until he couldn't anymore. Fell on the ground. The grandmother then held him, and he died in her arms. That is the country we found ourselves in. The woman told me, I begged them to kill me and they refused. That's the worst thing that has happened to me. Killing my grandson
In your present.
was not as bad as them refusing to kill me. Why am I alive? That is the kind of traumatic experiences people are facing on a daily basis. In a country where there is a government. And you know the funniest part of it? Nobody's being held accountable for this. The incidences in Takun, I always appreciate the state government. The incidences in Takun were happening to a very large extent. They were not in the public domain. We went there, we saw what was happening. We published the stories. Very quickly, the state government mobilized the
State emergency.
not the security affairs, the Commandant 6th Brigade.
6th Brigade, yeah.
They went there. And along with them went SEMA to provide immediate relief for those people. It's commendable. That is how a sane society should operate. Give the people a sense of belonging. Let them know that we have a government who cares. When we went there, the people were like, we don't even know if there's a government at any level. When the stories came out, the government saw what was happening and they reacted. They reached out to the people. They gave them a sense of belonging. That is what the federal government is supposed to be doing. You and I were in Taraba here a couple of years ago. You couldn't sleep in your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
People were being picked on a daily basis.
There were times we have to be in the office, sleep in the office, just be at a place where
Nobody expects
you even just want the day to break because you don't know what will happen in the night.
Commendably, the state government has put in place certain measures that makes it convenient for you to sleep in your house. You are not under any imminent threat. You are not under imminent threat from driving home in the night or stuff like that. You can drive around town. Look, there are times we drive around times in the midnight.
Yeah.
Just to see the situation. And you don't confront any major threat.
Yeah.
It's not like back then when you know for sure with absolute certainty that if you are driving around that Yagai axis, that school of nursing axis, you are definitely going to meet 2 or 3 kidnappers trying to stop you and rob you. It's not like when you know for certain that if you drive in the night around that Ruby Junction, guys are going to stop you to try to rob you. They were robbing everywhere. The situation has come under control to a very large extent, courtesy of the state government efforts. Okay, and we must commend these efforts. But a lot more needs to be done. And not just at the state level. It's not just at the local government level. It's at the federal government level. Federal government must begin to show commitment. Because if you ask me for free, I'll tell you, I don't see commitment from the federal government.
One thing that bothered me is the fact that, is it that we don't know where these people are? Because the best form of defense is attack. Many a times we wait until some of these things happen. We now begin to say, we're going to rescue our girls. We're going to... Is there any part of Nigeria that we don't know the location? We don't have the instrument to be able to know the longitude, the latitude of this. I felt the best thing is for us to follow these terrorists to their camp and to their area to attack them.
Well, when we started, I said something very key. I asked a question. How do you move over 300 persons from one location to another without any form of interception? It doesn't add up. That's the simple truth. It doesn't add up. Okay. In the case of Niger State, more than 50 of these children escaped. More than 50 escaped. Now, you can have like 300 people in your custody and then 50 escape without your knowledge. It speaks to one thing. It speaks to the incompetence of the abductors. Let's even assume that the narrative we are given is the correct narrative. They are abducted, they were moving, and then they were able to escape. 50 people to move from a group of over 300
is noticeable.
Unnoticed.
It should be noticed.
To the incompetence of the group.
Yeah.
It speaks to how very unorganized the group is. Now, how has our security establishment been able to take advantage of this major loophole?
And these people.
Capitalize on it, track down the other children, and rescue them. I'm not very versed in security matters. I'm just a bloody journalist, a bloody civilian. I may not know some of this, but from some of the movies we watch and the documentaries we watch of live incidences, we know that even when there is a hostage scenario, when people are rescued, they are profiled, they are questioned, they are asked to make statements. From their statements, we're able to pick one or two things that will enable the security agencies further their investigation into who carried out this attack and be able to track them down. Was that done in this case? We wouldn't know. But the speed at which these children were reunited with their families, it's worrisome.
Yeah, you are talking about the Kwara incident.
No, the Niger incident.
Okay, you mean the 50 of them that
escaped. The speed with which they were united with their families, it's worrisome. One would have expected that they would spend time with security agencies because, okay,
to provide some useful information to them.
Where were they taking you people? Which direction? They'll be able to provide.
How did they look like?
Now, where the carry us the go be this? This now what did they talk? This is what they were saying in the course of carrying us along. These were the kind of people who carried us. There are information very.
They may lose scattered.
But
as experts,
security agents,
yes,
will pick these things, and I can tell you this for free. Nigerian security agents
are one of the best.
Super intelligent.
That's true.
Engage a DSS officer in a conversation, and you realize that these guys are a different breed altogether. They are extremely intelligent. They are able to pick pieces from scratch and put them together and form a stream. Was this done? So there are so many questions that beg for answers, and it makes you feel we have a system that is designed to fail under such circumstances. That's the unfortunate part.
But did you subscribe to this idea of us finding out their hideouts and go to attack them?
Do we need to find out their hideouts? Don't we know where they are?
So if we know where they are, why are we not doing taking the battle to their camp?
No. I'm not saying we know where they are, but don't we know? Let me give you an instance. We have, even if the security agents say they don't know, they know people who know. Sheikh Gumi, for instance, on several occasions, he has made it abundantly clear that I'm in touch with these guys. I'm in touch with the terrorists. I know where they are.
He has even gone there.
I can go to the bush and meet with them, where they are hiding, and discuss with them, and come back and give you the feedback. Sheikh Gumi has been making a lot of inflammatory statements, in some certain suggestions that shouldn't be made in any civilized society. He makes them and gets scot-free. I watched a clip very recently. I didn't verify it anyway, so I can't claim the authenticity of it. But I watched a clip where he was saying some of these things are happening because these people are not included on our national budget. We should make budgetary provision for them. So you have a national budget with provision for terrorists. He has made it very clear that the only way out is to negotiate with these people.
Do you agree with the concept of negotiating with bandits?
How do you negotiate with terrorists?
Some say when they repent.
When they repent.
But most of them, that's the issue. It's an ideology.
The question is that, what is their grievance in the first place? Have they actually presented that, okay, this is our grievances? Let's use Boko Haram, for instance. Their grievance from their name is, they don't like Western education. They don't like Western civilization.
Boko Haram.
Do you think there's any point at which they will repent? So they'll turn around and like Western civilization? No, they won't. Let's look at the trend of terrorist organizations around the world. And let's look at Osama bin Laden. Where did he start from? He started from the Mujahideen that were created by the United States to fight the Soviet Union. From the Mujahideen era, did he stop from there? No. He graduated to creating Al-Qaeda. And And most of these other terrorist organizations like ISWA, Boko Haram, most of them
Have link.
affiliations to
Yeah.
Al Qaeda.
And the Taliban's.
Okay, look at the Taliban. Look at the Hamas in Pakistan right now. What is their objective? They are looking forward to creating a government in Pakistan. Do you understand? The same way the Taliban have created a government in Afghanistan and other places. So terrorist organizations don't wake up and change their ideology. They grow to dominate. That is the simple ideology. They grow to dominate. So you don't negotiate with them. You vaporize them. You eliminate them. And so long as you don't do that decisively, so long as you embrace this defeatist disposition that we're embracing as a country, they will try. That's an unfortunate fact. And like I keep saying, I'm not saying this as a security expert. I'm not a security expert. I'm just a bloody journalist on the street there. But I know the feelings of the people. And I watch things carefully. And that is just the truth of the matter.
Because we have seen, it bothered me sometimes when I see videos of terrorists coming out to the town to come and have meeting, to come and discuss. And I was shocked when I heard even the Inspector General of Police saying, people say they want to repent. Do we deny them?
Do they want to repent? Okay, I watched a video of one very young, very handsome looking young man, terrorist, coming out to say that the ones that kidnapped those guys in Kebbi, they are the ones that kidnapped those ones in Niger. Of course, most of this information is on the social media platform, and you can verify the authenticity. But he says something very fundamental that should concern all of us. He didn't say at some point they are going to repent. He said very soon they will start kidnapping governors.
Even the president. You see how
that is how emboldened they are.
That they have become.
That's how emboldened they are.
To say you kidnap the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
A president, a sitting governor, you kidnap them. For a very small boy of less than 25 years.
I watched that video. Maybe he should be in his 15 or 17.
To make such statements. And he's very comfortable putting his face out there, knowing that nothing is going to happen to him. Now, where do these get this kind of courage? Where do they get this kind of courage? Where do they get this kind of courage? Where do they get this kind of emboldenment? If we really have a system, a functional system, a system that is ready to work, would we have such scenarios? No. Let's cast our minds back to 2014, 2015. When the now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was just there. He wasn't a president. And President Goodluck Jonathan was on the throne. What did he say about some of those things?
That's true.
Now, why is he not implementing what he said back then, now that he's a commander-in-chief of the armed forces? Why is he not doing that? Why are we afraid of the U.S. coming in
fact, at that time,
the threat
I remember that a group of them, led by the then president or the then presidential candidate Muhammad Buhari, with some other, they went to the U.S. That was when Barack Obama was the president, you know, and they met with the Secretary of State at that time, you know. And I've seen several writers where the current president also asked Jonathan to resign if he cannot fix security.
Now, let me say something. The presidency and those in power have taken advantage of the fact that we are so engrossed in our sentiments, religious sentiments, ethnic sentiments, sectional sentiments, and all of the affiliations so much that we can't think straight and act straight. If it were in any other society, rather than shut down schools because of a security threat,
We provide security.
some people would have to resign that, okay, as a president, I can no longer guarantee the security of lives and property of the people, so I'm resigning. Unfortunately, that is not happening here. And even more unfortunate, Nigerians have this level of tolerance and everything. And so you see these things happening, and nobody is ready to put up a resistance. You have very few discordant voices there, but then nobody is ready to actually go out there, stage a protest that we can't have this in our country. Look at the recent protests in Madagascar. These issues, were they half the magnitude of what we have here?
They are not. They are
And
not.
look at the recent protests around the world, where the issues have the consequence of issues we have on our hands right now.
Not at all.
Okay, like I said, we look at these things in terms of figures without actually considering it. But you have your 14, 15-year-old daughter who was woken up in the middle of the night sleeping. Probably we just had 90. And under this harmattan is staying in the bush, contending with the elements. That's the
weather.
the harmattan, the mosquitoes, the scorpions, the snakes, and every other element, and the monsters that are supposedly human beings.
Now let's talk about the issue of ransom. Some are of the opinion that to save lives, let's pay whatever that they ask for. But some people are of the opinion that this ransom, we are only providing funds to help these terrorists. What's your view?
Paying ransom by all standards. Okay, this may not sound like the most morally correct response. And I pledge for us to stand not on the template of moral justification. But paying ransom does a lot more harm
Thank God.
than good. Why do I say so? You pay ransom to those people. You are giving them incentive to do more. You are empowering them to arm themselves better. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, you give them billions, they're able to buy more weapons, they're able to recruit more people,
More people.
and they're able to incentivize their recruits. They're able to throw money around because they have plenty of money.
Yeah, money is around.
You know, so for a country that poverty has eaten so deeply into our national fabrics, when people see money, it doesn't matter what they're doing. It erodes their morality. It erodes their value system.
Recently, former governor of Kaduna State, talking about Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, accused the state government, the current state government, of giving bandits up to 1 billion.
El-Rufai has no reason, has no basis whatsoever to come out and make such a statement. He is the same person who told us they are bandits. Your late President Muhammad Buhari's election. He's the same person who told us that he paid off the bandits to leave, and they refused to leave. So if we're talking about paying bandits, he championed that cause. And that's why a lot of people will tell you he's even a bandit himself. That's not good.
He's accusing the National Security Advisor, that it's through the office of the National Security Advisor that this.
What did he do through his own office as the executive governor of Kaduna State? He did worse. So, and I was discussing on a sister program on a sister station yesterday, and I said something. We seem to have a system that is designed to favor some of these happenings. Let me give you an instance. Yes, terrorism happens everywhere in the world. Even in the most advanced economies, in the most advanced democracies like the US and all of that. The instances where you have a system that operates more on electronic transactions, this is your area of specialty, accountancy. When you have more of your transactions done electronically, it's easier to track them.
Definitely.
Than when you have cash transactions.
Cash transaction.
Now, if we have a system where we're operating a cashless policy, a cashless system, where people have to transact electronically, you demand ransom, it has to pay to you electronically.
You also must withdraw electronically.
Electronically. It means it can be tracked.
But the bandits will not want it. They will prefer cash.
Now, when you have a system like that, you discourage them from operating. Look back, just do a little bit of introspection. When, towards the end of the late Muhammadu Buhari's administration, they introduced that cashless policy. Were you hearing about kidnappings again? Were you hearing about armed robbers blocking the road to rob people again? There was no money in circulation. You block the road, you will not see cash. If you transact electronically, they will track you.
They will track their account.
If you come to people's house, they don't have cash. If you transact with their phones, they'll be able to track you.
That's true.
If you kidnap people, they don't have cash to pay you ransom. Except if you want them to do it electronically, and that can be tracked.
Yeah, of course.
Unfortunately, rather than encourage that system to persist and continue, and then make sure that the banks have enough facilities to contain the volume of electronic transactions that needed to be done, we smashed the policy. So it's as if we've designed our system to encourage some of those things from happening. Unfortunately. And that's why I keep talking about the political will to tackle insecurity. It's a multidimensional issue. It's a multidimensional issue. And as journalists, as pressmen, we have a major responsibility to keep on keeping on some of these issues that really matter. That look, this is the only country we have. If this country is messed up, we're all messed up. That is the simple truth. And we must do everything within our capacity, within our capabilities as journalists and as every other stakeholder to ensure that we promulgate the right message, we propagate the right message, we promote the right message, we sow the right seeds in the minds of the people.
Okay, let's look at the role of international. We had the secretary, the current secretary to the government of the state, saying that we've had two opinions. One is by the secretary to the government of the state, where he said the reason why bandits start attacking now was because of what Trump said.
Yeah, the SGF, Secretary to the Government of Federation, Senator Joda Kumi, former governor of Benue State. By the way, Benue State is one of the flashpoints in the country.
Even the governor of Benue State, in his outing, said the killing is not as we think.
No, the governor of Benue State says something that is misrepresented.
Okay.
He said what is happening is not religious genocide. Because the people are not coming in to kill people
on the basis
and
of
force them to convert to Islam. That would have been religious genocide. They are not killing people on the basis that they are Christians. They are killing them for occupational purposes. They want to take over their lands. That is not religious genocide. That is what the governor said. That is what is being misrepresented. Now, the Secretary of Government of Federation, you know his position. He speaks for the government, the federal government. So he has to be politically correct. He has to be politically correct. So he's constrained to a very large extent. But do we deny the fact that there's genocide? No, we can't deny the fact. People are being slaughtered in their numbers. It could be for religious purposes. It could be for ethnic cleansing. It could be for occupational purposes. But the fact remains that people are being killed in their thousands, in their numbers.
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis. And it's unacceptable. It's totally unacceptable. It's intolerable. It shouldn't be happening. These are human lives, and every human life should be sacrosanct. A human life is sacred. Do you understand? Now, talking about foreign intervention. What did the Trump administration say? Did the Trump administration say, we are coming in to kill Muslims? No.
It's a terrorist.
We say, we'll come in and dismantle the jihadists, the extremist jihadists, the terrorists. Why should anybody oppose to the elimination of terrorists when our government seems completely incapacitated to tackle the situation? We've proven our inability to manage the situation by closing down schools. We can't protect the schools.
Yeah.
That means we're unable to counter.
We have showed our incapacitation.
You understand? So why should we be opposed to a foreign government, a U.S. government coming in to assist us and tackle the situation? It boils down to one thing: sentiment. We're not thinking as patriotic Nigerians. We're thinking as Christians. We're thinking as Muslims. We're thinking as Northerners, as Southerners. We're thinking as Yoruba. We're thinking as Igbo. We're thinking as Genjo. Rather than as Nigerians.
Nigerians.
Until we're able to embrace that level of patriotism, what we think as Nigerians, what we put Nigerians first and the welfare of Nigerians first, what we feel every Nigerian life matters, every Nigerian life counts, we'll continue to get it wrong, unfortunately.
Fortunately, we heard that the delegation that went to the U.S., led by the National Security Advisor, in that delegation, the Inspector General of Police was among. In that delegation, the Chief of Army Staff was among. In that delegation, the Minister of Foreign Affairs States, talking about Bianca, she was there. We also have some other key ministers. And it appears as if both countries have agreed on some level of partnership to be able to curtail these terrorists.
First of all, let me point out something to you. The U.S. as a government, the United States of America, when they want to act, they don't make noise.
That's true.
I'll give you a very recent example. When they wanted to obliterate the Iranian nuclear
weapon
project, they didn't make noise about it. They didn't until the deed was done. Let's bring it back home. When there were American citizens that were kidnapped, and they wanted to come in and rescue them, they didn't make any noise about it.
It is after they have rescued them, they have left before we even know that something like that happened. Yeah.
Now, I can tell you for free that if the U.S. is coming into the country, you have no idea. And don't be surprised if, as we speak, they already have sleeper agents all over the country.
Yeah.
Waiting to move in and take their action. Have their meeting with the Office of National Security Advisor and the Nigerian delegation. They can tell them all the fanciful things. But they have concrete intelligence. You can't take that away from them. They have intelligence that's absolutely correct. We say they are there, they don't know what is happening here, but they do know. They do. They know it as well as we do because they have their feet on ground. They have people monitoring situations and telling them. We have the Catholic Bishop of Makurdi Diocese, Bishop Anagwe, who went there and gave them a detailed situational report.
Yeah.
Facts.
I read some of the things he said.
We have people from Nigeria who went there to the Congress and gave them detailed report of what is happening. That is apart from their own people on ground. So they know what is happening. And before a U.S. president will come out and make such a statement, they know exactly what they're saying.
Yeah, a U.S. president will not just talk anyhow.
So we can go there, led by the National Security Advisor, who is himself a Fulani person, make some very fanciful statements, tell them that, look, the narrative is wrong and all of that. But they know what is the truth. And they have their own position on things. And they have a plan already mapped out. I can tell you that for free. And when it's the right time, they will do what needs to be done. When they decided, for instance, that it was time to get rid of Muammar Gaddafi, they didn't say anything. They didn't even storm Libya. But it was done.
Yeah.
When they wanted to get rid of Saddam Hussein,
yeah,
they didn't make any noise about it. They just raised the issue of Iraq having weapons of mass destruction, used that as a premise to invade the country, arrest him, wasted him, even though today they didn't have any proof that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And their operation is all over the world. Okay, so one thing we're very sure of is that they have their plan laid out. They will carry it out at their own time, irrespective of the interaction with the Nigerian authorities.
They have pledged to provide intelligence, provide information, support the government in the fight against terrorism.
When we talk about providing intelligence and all of that, what kind of intelligence? During the Goodluck Jonathan regime, the presidency came out to tell us that they are aware that the Boko Haram has infiltrated the government.
It's government, that's true.
And there are people in government who are part of Boko Haram. So is that the kind of information the U.S. is going to provide for us now?
Not at all.
The Nigerian government already has that information. The Nigerian government is Saudi provided an information recently about those who are funding terrorism in Nigeria.
Is it Saudi or
I think it was Saudi, not Qatar. Or UAE?
Yes, UAE.
Okay, but
Dubai.
I know it's one of them. Either
Yes,
UAE,
I think it's
Qatar,
Dubai.
or Saudi.
Dubai.
They provided this information.
But what did you do with it?
So I don't think we are ignorant of what is happening. I don't think lack of intelligence. No, I don't believe our security system, our intelligence system is so porous that we don't know what is happening. We have super intelligent operatives. I can say that for free any day, anytime. And that is because I've interacted with security operatives at various levels. Look, you meet with people, and when they talk, you know that they are very, very sound. So our security agencies are very sound. We have the intelligence. What is lacking, in my own opinion, is a political will to implement what needs to be done. So if we don't have the political will, even if the U.S. provides us with the best intelligence, it should be wasted. If they provide us with the best
weapons. Because another area we're looking at is weapon.
If they provide us with the best weapons, it will still count to nothing. We've had situations where it boils down to one thing: political will. Once we're able to muster that political will, insecurity will put behind us. But until we do that, this situation will continue to deteriorate to the extent that you and I will no longer be able to sleep with our two eyes closed.
There's another thing that this issue has been, people have been looking at it. And we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, viewers, Hangout with Journalists will continue. Please don't go away.
As a young teenage girl, young adult, or campus lady, do you have question in your mind that is unanswered? Or do you feel like meeting or talking to someone that will be able to answer them? I have good news for you. The Deeper Life Bible Church Jalingo Women Ministry has come up with a special program for the girl child titled The Polish Daughters. This program will be coming up on the 29th of November 2025. Time is 10 a.m. Venue is the Deeper Life Bible Church Campground, Mile 6 Bypass, Jalingo, Taraba State. Featuring talk, symposium, interactive sessions like question and answers, character stories, varieties, etc. Come expecting, go rejoicing. Be there.
Okay, you're welcome back. You have been on to Hangout with Journalists, where we've been extraying the insecurity in our country. And I have been speaking with a veteran journalist, Mr. Silvanus, and he has been digesting to us some of the things that are happening. Now, let's look at this foreign element. A lot of people believe that some of these terrorists are not.
That narrative has been in the public discourse for quite some time. Without being very official, I remember when some elements in the country said, yeah, we brought in some mercenaries to prosecute the 2015 general elections to ensure that if Jonathan wins, the country is
become ungovernable.
Okay. And then after the whole thing, they refused to leave because they saw a very lucrative business here. And, you know, the Sahel region generally has become a very fertile ground for terrorists. You have a lot of crises going on in South Sudan. You have issues in DR Congo. You have issues across the African continent, where the Libya and all of that, where there are a lot of proliferation of weapons. A lot of people are exposed to terrorism in a way. So they are readily available as mercenaries. So yes, when there's this...
Okay, we have a breaking news. A report just gets to our studio that 24 adopted KB schoolgirls regain freedom. The 24 girls adopted from Government Girls Secondary School, Muga KB, have been rescued. We just got a breaking news. Maybe the studio will help us put it as a breaking news.
Yeah.
But I have a little problem. I'm happy that these girls...
Yeah, it's a very beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful story. But I have a problem.
Yeah.
And what's my problem? Look at the Kwara incident, look at the KB incident. No gun was fired, nobody was arrested. These people have been released.
What transpired? What is the color of water that went under the bridge for the rescue of this child? And that's
Okay, viewers, we have a breaking news. The report just reaching us in the studio said the 24 adopted KB girls from the government girls secondary school have been free. That's a good news for all of us. But
it's really a very wonderful news. We'll celebrate. I can high five to that. But then,
but
it's a good thing. It shouldn't have happened in the first place.
First place, yes.
It shouldn't have happened. It's a good thing that they have been rescued. The presidency ordered Minister of State for Defense Matawale to go there and ensure that these children are rescued. It was promised that they were going to be rescued, and now they are free. It's a good thing. We congratulate ourselves, we congratulate Nigerians, and we celebrate with the entire families that are affected. But then, the questions pop up. How were they rescued? What happens to their abductees? What happens to those who abducted them?
Was money paid? Was ransom paid?
Was ransom paid? These are questions that Nigerians deserve to know the answers. And we will not be celebrating victory if we actually paid ransom to those bandits.
I think it's 28. Okay.
We will not be celebrating victory if ransom was paid to those bandits for their rescue. That is not victory for us. It will be victory if the Nigerian system, the Nigerian authority, the security operatives actually moved in, were able to neutralize the bandits and rescue these children. That is a show of power. That is a show that we're a country.
It's the KB incident we're talking about. The 20, I think it's 24 of them.
Yeah, I think it's 24.
24.
They were still in custody.
Yes. The 24 KB girls that were adopted have regained freedom. So it's the 24 KB girls we are talking about. The Kwara have regained freedom, I think, yesterday.
They regained their freedom yesterday, and there was another incident in Kwara, of course, that same yesterday evening, where more people were.
But you see, the thing is that, as you said, it could have been a good news that the bandits were neutralized and these people were rescued. Because you see, the case of Kwara, these people maybe after they have gotten the money, they'll come back again to pick another asset because it has become a lucrative business.
Lucrative business. So long as we keep incentivizing these crimes, they will not stop. And that is why it is very important that we actually put up a show of strength. We actually show that, look, we're a country where we can get things done. You can't just pack people, go away with them, and then you collect money, free them, and then you go and pack another set of people. This happened with Chibok.
Yes.
This happened with Dapchi. This happened with so many other places. You remember the Kaduna train incident?
Yes.
So these things have been going on. But until we're able to get to a point where these things happen and the terrorists don't get the incentives, instead, they are tracked down, they are neutralized, and the people are rescued. And so they don't have any incentive for doing this again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we don't have any cause for celebration, in my own opinion.
Yeah, you are correct.
But I'm happy that these children are finally freed, no matter the
But sometimes we talk about like this, they say is a non-kinetic approach. The director of DSS spoke with spoke with that, and the people were free. You know, in the name of non-kinetic approach.
There is no non-kinetic approach. There shouldn't be any effective non-kinetic approach that should incentivize criminality. To the extent that any measure, any approach, be it kinetic or non-kinetic approach, incentivize criminality, it is not productive. It is anti-productive. Now, let me give you an example. If you, for instance, you know that you can dupe me, and rather than go to jail, you'll be compensated for duping me. Will you stop duping? You won't.
Not at all.
Because duping has been incentivized. So you keep doing it. So to the extent that they kidnap, and then they are paid
For kidnapping
for doing
others.
that, it's become a lucrative business. So they will not stop it. Everybody wants, and to continue with something that pays. So long as it pays, they will continue doing it. They will keep doing it. And until they're shown that, no, this thing's not going to pay you, it's going to be disastrous for you. Until we arrive at that point, we're not fighting it. We're simply encouraging it. And that is how we've come to the point where we are today.
Okay, but before we go, there is this other concept of our mineral resources. We've seen people accusing China and Chinese of trying to take some of our mineral, and because of that, they empower some of these criminals and give them weapon, so that sometimes they brought chopper to. I saw the former APC chairman talking about Adam Oshomele at the floor of the House, making such allegations that, and some are trying to link it that maybe that was why China is against US coming to fight terrorists in Nigeria. What's your view about that?
You see, we can blame China and any other national over the issue of exploration of our natural minerals, natural resources. But the truth is this: as a government, as a country, we don't have any policy in force that protects the exploration of our natural mineral resources. I'm sorry to say this. In Taraba here, you and I were at briefings by the task force.
Okay, maybe let's take that clip, and let's take that clip so that we get a perspective to what we're saying.
They use choppers. They procure arms exactly the same way as our military were doing in the South. They give them arms. They use choppers to come and cut away the gold. And they take them out of this country and make billions of US dollars. And the federal government is not doing what it should be doing. I took this letter to the former president when I was national chairman of APC. And I said, call the general to give you more brief. In fact, what is happening, or what subsequently happened in that part of the country, was exactly what the general told me was going to happen. Because these guys have been weaponized by the illegal big men who deploy them, secure territories, and the weapon is meant to protect the Chinese and other foreigners who they actually employ to carry out the mining. And on occasion, they use the same weapon to carry out banditry, kidnapping, and all of the terrible things that are going on. Some retired military officers, army officers are involved in it. The day we can't tell the truth, this country cannot flourish. We can't change our, when it affects our people, we are at our best. We talk strong. Some other people appear to be above the law. That is what is going on with solid mineral. It is not that we don't know where it is. We have a whole survey of where we have what across the length and breadth of Nigeria.
All right, Ayo Adams Oshomele's statement highlights what many see as hypocrisy.
Okay, what's your view about this?
You see, Oshomele was very explicit. And he just made the exact point I was about making before before we played off the clip. We know exactly where the solid minerals are. And we know that they are being illegally mined. And we are doing nothing about it. Let's look at Taraba, for instance. I'm aware that during the Danbasunte administration, a contract was given to a Russian company, Aero Instrumentation, that surveyed Taraba State and submitted a report on where there are specific mineral deposits all across the state. Aero Instrumentation, it's a Russian company. Do you understand? Now, these are minerals that if the state government decides to obtain a mining license from the federal government and is mining them, the state government could be generating trillions, not billions, trillions annually. So the state government will be viable enough to survive without a FAC. But what happens? That report is swept under the carpet. And individuals coming from all over the world are mining the wealth of the state, destroying the terrain, and walking away. You were at the press briefing where the task force at mining briefed us of the level of damage in Akwana and other parts of the state.
Yeah, the level of land degradation.
Land degradation, and so many damages have been done.
But despite this executive order binding mining, we have not been able to come up with a solid policy because we cannot bind the mining forever. This is where our resources are.
We have people arrested. Those people that are arrested, these Chinese people that are arrested are on display. How many of them were actually prosecuted and sentenced? How many of them? The so-called Nigerian factor will always come to play. And then you will not hear about the cases tomorrow. But we have a former Senate president, Ekwe Kwaramadu, in prison in UK. Nigerian government made a case recently that he should be transferred back, and
the UK refused.
Was rejected. But what happens to foreign nationals who commit very heinous crimes in Nigeria? They are arrested, and then before you know what's happening, the case goes down, nobody hears anything about it, and that's the end of it. And that boils down to what we were talking about, the political will to tackle these issues. Nigeria has no business being poor. Take oil, take crude oil out of it. Nigeria has no business being poor. Look at Taraba State, for instance. You go to places like Kurumi, local government like Kurumi. The wealth that is wasting away in Kurumi. If you know how much foreigners are coming in to make out of Kurumi and get away with it, you'll be shocked. But that is the system we've designed for ourselves.
Okay, I know if we continue on this topic, we will not leave this place. What's your final thoughts about this insecurity issue in the country?
I feel terribly disheartened that despite our potentials, despite our capabilities, despite our capacities, Nigerians are living in perpetual state of Nigerians feel very, very insecure. They are living in perpetual state of fear and helplessness and hopelessness, unfortunately. And it boils down to our governments not being ready to do the needful. I hope we'll get to a point where the government will sit up and say, look, we have an obligation to the people and we need to fulfill the obligation. And they will live up to obligation. Because we cannot continue to subscribe to the ideologies of the terrorists like we've just done by shutting down schools and let them thrive as against the common good of our people. We cannot continue to do that. So I look forward to a situation where we will live above bounds. We will live above political consideration. We will live above ethno-religious considerations and actually step up as a country to tackle our issues, face them as a nation, as a sovereign nation, and the government will be able to provide security of lives and property for the people at the local government, at the state level, and at the federal government levels.
Okay, I want to thank you so much. Thank you very much for this insightful discussion. I believe viewers, you gain a lot, putting insight into a lot of things that are happening around this country. And as he said, this matter we're talking about is also a collective responsibility. We as citizens also have a duty to play to provide intelligent report to our security agent, and to also watch our back, and to watch our community, and to watch our society. We'll continue to pray that Nigeria gets better, because we don't have any other country we can call our own if not Nigeria. Thank you so much for being with us today in this program, Hangout with Journalists. We'll come your way again on